Welcome to this special episode as part of the Festival of Releases that we are dealing with Super Mario Odyssey today.
Yes.
Which has been an incredible experience so far, and we can't wait to dive right into this with you guys.
Oh boy.
So we'll start with the factual review, which comes right from Metacritic. 97%, 10 out of 10 on IGN, 9 out of 10 user score. I am extremely pleased with the amount of feedback it's getting because it's all positive feedback and it's incredible.
It's all good.
But yeah, so we both put an ample amount of time into the game. We've both been experiencing it incredibly. It is the first open world Mario game in 15 years.
Yeah.
The last one was Super Mario Sunshine, which came out in 2002 on the GameCube. So,
and I mean, we had a kind of in between with Galaxy. Yeah.
But Galaxy wasn't great.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it for what it was, but yeah, definitely we needed more.
Absolutely.
I'm pissed it took that much longer for it to be more,
but with the Switch and the graphics and things we can do, it's just incredible.
There's so much stuff.
You want to start with your experience?
So I just finished up the campaign yesterday. And as I was progressing through about 80% of the worlds, I was getting every power moon that I possibly could.
Yep.
So obviously I've not 100% a game yet. There's so many power moons. There's so much extra stuff to do.
So much stuff to do.
Yeah. There's so many even not just power moons. There's so many extra mini games to get top records on and
trying to find all the costumes and stuff like that.
Exactly. There's a lot. So I definitely feel though I've gotten the overall experience of the game.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There's definitely subtleties that we've been missed out on so far, but yeah, the whole experience is fucking amazing.
I definitely plan on playing it twice.
Oh, dude,
I want to play the entire game twice.
Yeah. So the one thing I want to start out with is the basic to little story is just solid. Sets you up with a really basic concept.
Yeah.
Bowser kidnaps Peach. He's going to marry her. Mario's got to get her. So he pretty much set that up well. And that's kind of for the story. They keep it simple because that's just how it is.
Just every Mario is the same.
Exactly. So they do that well.
So you got this really cool ship now called the Odyssey.
Yes. And then kind of leading into that, the really cool feature that new for Mario, because Mario has all the same stuff, run around, jump, jump on stuff, destroy it. And the new thing is Cappy, which obviously...
Which is his hat.
Exactly, which if you haven't seen the 55 trailers for it. Now the cool new feature is Mario can throw his hat, so he has technically a projectile.
Yeah.
And then what's cool is, though, if he does throw it at certain enemies, he can take control of them and then go into them and then operate as them, and that leads to solving different puzzles, defeating certain enemies required to do different abilities, and all those different enemies, too, have new abilities. So, obviously, one thing that we always kept seeing in the trailer was, oh, you could take over, a Goomba, and then you're just a Goomba, and then you can stack up Goombas. But, now there's even these new, plant-type enemies, where if you throw a cap on the plant, that it's just a small little cabbage-looking thing, but it can grow to be 4 feet tall.
Yeah, it's really cool.
That helps get to certain areas. Even the an older enemy, even the caterpillar worms that stick together and then extend. You can take over them and then get to certain areas by extending.
You can shoot yourself around and curve and stuff.
There's so just with that mechanic on its own, because there's so much about the game that we can rave about.
But... there's another enemy too, in the sand area, which I don't remember what the enemy's called, but it's like a thwomp or thomp.
Yeah.
But you take over it, and you have to be able to be this enemy to be able to see the route that you have to take, because the route is it's invisible, and you can only see it as him. So it adds puzzle aspects to it too.
With sunglasses.
Yeah, and it's not just oh, you can take over this enemy and that's cool. You have to take over them to do different things to get to certain points. So you can defeat some of the enemies, but if you defeat them, then you miss out on the puzzle. So you have to do it. It is so cool, and you can use the hat to jump.
Yeah.
So you can use it as a platform. I don't necessarily agree with the control scheme for that, because it is a little difficult to do.
Yes.
But because it's just the way that you jump and the way that you do it.
Yep.
But you throw the hat, you hold the button, the hat spins in air, and then you can jump on top of it and use it as a platform. It's awesome. It's so cool.
Yeah, there's so much. So that's just kind of the new gameplay feature that, like I said, it's totally new.
It adds a lot.
Innovative, and exactly, it opens it up for so much. The other kind of really cool thing about the game is all of the different worlds. So in this one, it almost does kind of have that mini galaxy vibe where you're going to a bunch of different planets, or well, not planets, sorry. You're going to a bunch of different kingdoms.
Right.
For this one.
It's kind of like in Mario 64, how you would jump in the different paintings, and it would be like a different world, and there's different things to do.
And that's even the one thing I used to compare with a lot, but what's really cool about this one is that I love so much more is in the paintings, whenever you would get one star, you had to jump back out and then jump back in, then the area would remap based off that.
Right.
You don't have to do that in this one.
Nope.
You are in this kingdom, there's, let's just say hypothetically 36 power moons on that world. You can get all of them. There's no disconnect. You don't have to leave and then come back.
Yeah, you don't have to restart it.
Exactly. It's so much more fluid, and everything bleeds into everything, and the worlds are so much more open than because of that. It's so cool. It's so cool like that. And the kingdoms are really nice. All of them are super diverse.
They're all different.
I mean, just even not to get super spoilery, I guess, about the game, but just even at the beginning. I mean, you start off at a desert area.
Yeah.
Then it goes to a frozen tundra area. Then you go to a whole water level. Then a whole jungle level. There's so much. Then you go to a whole big city, the big city that they
New Donk City.
Exactly. So so they made a bunch of that. So it's cool. I mean, the worlds are so different. There's different enemies for each area. Even the enemies have different mechanics. It feels like you are
take over a T-Rex.
Yes. Yeah, you go into new when you hit a new kingdom, you don't know what you're gonna get.
No, everything's different. It's like a complete I don't want to say it's like a different game, but it's like a completely different game. You go into it and everything's different. There's new enemies, there's new areas to go to, and it's just incredible.
Yeah, which is really cool.
The other thing too is the 2D segments.
Yes.
So there are points where you actually become 2D Mario, and you're playing as if you were playing like the old Super Mario Brothers, and you have to do these things in 2D to try to get to different points, and it is so cool. So many people were I was reading reviews and listening to people talk, and they were just well, this wasn't needed. And no, maybe it wasn't needed, but it is so fucking cool.
It's such a cool throwback.
It's so cool.
It's such a cool throwback, and it's a good way too to subtly hide other power moons in it too.
Yes, yeah.
There's a bunch of ones where it's if that you would transitionally just go up above and then become regular 3D Mario again, but then there's this weird little break in the wall, so you go, so you walk around it, and then turns out it's this whole secret area where there's power moons, so it's super cool. The other thing I did, I'm actually glad you brought that up, because some people complain about, but here's another subtlety with it. The game bleeds Easter eggs of older Mario games.
Absolutely.
One, I don't know if you saw this, but one actually super thing is every time you collect a power moon, Mario will do a different hand sign with his hand, and sometimes jump in a different pose, and people got really confused of why, if it may be power moon of certain importance, but it's actually not. It's actually throwback to either Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, or Super Mario Odyssey, depending on which hand thing he's doing for it, which I thought was super cool. So yeah,
Galaxy, right?
Yeah. What did I say?
You said Odyssey.
I said Odyssey again? Yeah. Mario jumps like he did in Odyssey. On the new Odyssey.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
You didn't know the old Odyssey.
Galaxy.
The original Odyssey.
Yes.
From years ago. With the Iliad and shit. Yeah.
Yes.
But sequel to Mario Odyssey, Mario Iliad.
Oh God.
But yeah, I mean the game's fantastic. The game is definitely suited for everybody.
Oh yeah.
Kids can play it, adults can play it, everybody can enjoy it. The controls are super simple. The game feels incredible. They put so much time into it, and it definitely 100% can be a contender for Game of the Year.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yep. We knew that before the game came out, and especially
this year is just going to be insane. It is. I don't understand how anybody's going to be able to pick Game of the Year because, first of all, Nintendo has two incredible titles that are going to run right against it. Zelda and Mario.
Yep.
And then you've got games like Destiny 2 and Assassin's Creed and Horizon Zero Dawn. And
my thought is, too, I think what's really going to decide, and let's just pretend really quick that Nintendo is the only real contender for Game of the Year.
Mario and Zelda.
So I think what's really going to break it this year from one over the other is going to be or how good the DLC is going to be for Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, but I don't even know if they'll include that.
Well, exactly. But I'm just saying, though, you know what I mean? I think that is going to be a swaying factor.
It could be.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing, though, too, is, Mario and Zelda are so very, very different. It's going to be very interesting to see because both of them are having success rate. Mm-hmm. Now, Zelda is the highest rated game of all time. Yeah. It still is the highest rated game of all time. It probably will win Game of the Year.
Yeah.
But Mario is definitely going to win Game of the Year in other aspects.
Oh,
Adventure game, platformer game. It could win puzzle game.
It could. I don't see it, but it could.
It could. There's a lot going on with this game, and it is, if you have a Switch, play the game.
You have
if
to.
you don't have a Switch, buy a Switch and play the game. Like, you know, every other time we were like, sponsored Microsoft. Yeah. Now it's like, sponsored Switch. Go get the Switch.
You have
play
to.
the game. It is so...
Makes it so worth it.
Yeah, it's just... It's incredible. Like, it's such a new feeling, but it's such a nostalgic feeling, and it's just...
It's so
like,
good. It's seriously what the community... like, just gaming community in general. It's just seriously what we need for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't want to say it's the return of Mario, because Mario didn't really ever leave.
Yeah,
but this was like... this was the push.
It's just even the resurgence of it. It's like Mario's back.
Yep,
like
Mario is back. Mario's important.
He never really left, but God, it's a really good footprint.
So, you know, not to compare this to something that's kind of had a shittier rap, but it's the same thing with Sonic.
With
like,
Mania.
Mania and Forces is the same thing. Like, these older... Okay, well, Forces isn't out yet.
Yeah.
But Mania, at
looks.
least. Yeah.
Looks and
so, you know, it's just games like this year is a year for games making good comebacks.
Well, even that, it's that. I mean, so obviously Mario, Sonic, even Crash Bandicoot,
Assassin's Creed with the new game, Call of Duty going back to World War II. Mm-hmm. Like, there is a lot going on with this year that's just like a resurgence of things that needed to be revitalized.
Yeah.
Like, even Destiny. Like, you know, the first Destiny was great, and Destiny 2 just, like, added on top of it. It's just, like, it's an incredible feeling of all of these things that didn't necessarily fall off, but things that we either forgot about or didn't put that much time into or just had mediocre games in their franchises. And now it's just like, no, these games are powerhouses. These games are games that you need to play. Like, 2017 is an incredible year for games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, that's the one, I think that's the biggest takeaway. And not just from Mario, but just kind of generalizing now too. But yeah, I mean, like, whoever gets Game of the Year, I mean, kudos and awesome.
Yes.
But goddamn, we have to appreciate. That's what but I'm saying we've really got to be thankful for how good of a year
it was
for titles. You know what I mean? Because I mean, and hopefully it continues. But that's what I'm saying. I mean, it could be another dead year in 2018. So it's like, I mean, we really gotta.
Based off of Sony, if we get everything, 2018 is going to be pretty insane. So, you know, we've got so many games in 2018.
But anyway, so Mario. Yep. To lock in more on Mario. So that pretty much covers the overall gameplay for stuff. Like I said, me and Jeremy have been literally adoring it. Like I said, we can't entice you enough to buy it.
Once I put down my controller for playing Creed, I pick up the Switch and play that and play Mario for hours. So it's just like...
Just to kind of break down just a couple more subtle things just before we give you a number review here. So Amiibo support. So it does have Amiibo support.
There are 3 Amiibos for it.
Exactly. 3 new ones specifically made for it. They can give you wedding outfits, which, if you didn't know what the Amiibos are, it's a wedding Mario, wedding Peach, and then wedding Bowser.
Yep. They're really cool. They're like pearlescent.
Oh, yeah.
They're
very
shiny. They look like they're made out of porcelain. It's awesome.
I have like every Amiibo, and I even rebought these 3, even though the old ones typically get the same thing. But so it's cool. So they get you the wedding outfits, and then also once you beat the main boss of each kingdom, you can then use the Amiibos to help you find other power moons.
Yep.
They won't get them for you. They will just help you actual location-wise. Or if like you need a certain requirement to get there, they'll tell you what the requirement is, which I thought was really cool.
Yep.
They give you a bunch of other kind of like subtle in-game boosts, like Peach, which is a debatable one, actually gives you an always +3 heart every time you use it. So I know some people kind of complain about that. But they have a couple other Amiibos that you can use too. It's all for outfits, because that's the other really cool thing about this game, which I don't really think Mario's ever really utilized well.
Yeah,
I mean,
you can just dress them up as anything. Like, and it's not like Tanuki Mario and Fire Mario. And, you know,
it's a bunch of stuff.
It's a bunch of stuff. You can be like... I
don't my god, there's a million.
There's like 1,000.
Pirate Mario, Eskimo.
Yeah.
Goddamn. There's like obviously like the wedding outfits and stuff like that.
Isn't there one where he's like in a biker outfit or something?
Yes,
too?
there's
like,
a biker. There's Tuxedo Mario.
Yeah,
there's a million. And also too.
I still want to try to find Dr. Mario, because he's got to be in the game somewhere. There's got to be a Dr. Mario outfit.
There is, but not in game. With the Dr. Mario amiibo.
Oh, see, that's what I
Yep, so exactly. So they have they have the Dr. Mario amiibo. They even have for Diddy Kong, you can get Diddy Kong's outfit with the cap with the amiibo, which is super cool. So yeah, so the amiibos are just cool. Yet again, it's not absolutely required. It doesn't break the game. It's just cool accessories if you want to just get the full Mario setup. It's just there, and so which is really nice. The only just because obviously I don't want to be super biased. If I had to complain about one thing, the fluidity of controls
Yes.
on hat throwing and then also platforming with said hat is a little bit annoying.
Yeah.
I personally, just for this type of Mario game, I have my Joy-Con. Well, I have my Switch plugged into the dock. I play it on the TV, and I have my Joy-Con controllers, which they pretty much tell me that I should be playing separately.
Yes.
With each hand. I plug them into the main controller unit and play that way. That's just how I play. It's how I like playing with it. I know even a buddy of mine uses a Pro controller for it. I've never even personally seen someone use the separate, but apparently that's the way to best utilize all the motion controls and stuff.
Yeah, because you can actually just like throw the hat by like
exactly
moving your hand.
So they do it that way. I mean, even too though, I have both the Joy-Cons plugged in, like I said in that controller docket. But I know if I do this, it'll literally do the hat spin and stuff. That's the only complaint I have if I ever had to make one. Is like just sometimes with the hat throwing controls and stuff like that, but you get used to it. And just if there's some things, God forbid, I'll unplug the Joy-Cons and do it that way.
Yeah.
But yeah. Was there any other was there like beside that? Did you have any gripes about the game?
Not really. No, I mean, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's been really good. So Jeremy, we'll do out of 10 because we've been keeping that pretty traditional. What would you rate this game out of 10?
I'd probably give it a 9.5.
Okay.
Honestly, it's the controls that are kind of backing me off from a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
So. Yeah. If they fix that and ever change it, which they probably won't, but if they were ever change it, I would probably get a 10 out of 10. But it is a lot of fun. It's everything that I hoped it would be, and so I'm gonna give it a 9.5.
I'm just straight up. I'm just caving in and giving it a 10.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm just doing full 10. It's everything that I've been waiting for with it. Everything and more. The way the setup is, they've really been listening to the fan base. With this one, like I said, the controls are subtle, but it's something honestly for as everything else that you get with the game. I can easily look past it with this one. Some people can't, and like some people even honestly, I could see people rate it lower because of that. Yeah. But I'm giving it the 10 for that. So
works out.
Yeah. So yeah. So that pretty much covers the episode, guys, for the Mario rendition of the Festival of Releases. If you want to see a bunch more videos that we have for all the AAA titles, obviously you can check those out.
And the non-AAA titles that we care about,
exactly.
Like Sonic Forces and Dot Hack.
Yes,
like that.
Of course. Yes, which are two those are really two passion projects for both of us too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, guys, always hit the subscribe button. Just lets us know what's going on
over here.
Yes, exactly, right here. If you want to get all the notifications because we're putting out a fuck ton of videos.
There's a lot.
There's so many videos coming out this month and next month. Hit the notification bell that's right next to the subscribe button so you know everything that's going on there.
And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, like you guys always do, facebook.com/PlayersTheRoundTable. You can find our stuff. You can find Two Guys One Livestream, Sort of the Light, Ones Who Watch, everything that's all dealing with the festival releases.
Exactly. So. All that stuff. And just lastly, too, guys, if you agree with our review, if you disagree, if you think that we didn't bring up something that was totally important about the game that we should have.
If you absolutely hate Mario.
Bingo. Please leave in the comments. We honestly do read them. We really appreciate the feedback. It just lets us know that we're
like
doing...
to have banter.
Exactly. Lets us know that we're doing our job, and especially if there's a really cool debate that goes back and forth, either between comments or with us and commentors, we can talk about it in either an upcoming podcast, or if it gets big enough, we can talk about it in a whole separate episode.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd love to do that too. So on that note, guys, good evening, good night, and as always, good luck.
Yep.
Have a good
See you guys.